Hi everyone, my name is Mushkan. I'm a registered migration agent with Pathway Education and Visa Services. Today I decided to have a session on 790 or Shev visa. The full name of this visa is Safe Haven Enterprise Visa, but most of the client refer to this visa as a Shev visa or 5 years visa. It is a protection visa. It's a temporary protection visa, but it leads to permanent residency later on if you meet the criteria for a PR application. And this visa is only for people who came to Australia as an asylum seeker by birth, not people who came to Australia on any other visa and wish to apply for protection visa onshore. If you came to Australia by airplane and you believe that you satisfy the criteria for a protection visa, you apply for subclass 866, not 790, because you're not an asylum seeker. You came here but you want an Australian protection visa. You apply for permanent visa, not a 5 years visa. With this Shev visa, you can live and work anywhere in Australia, but to meet the criteria for permanent residency, you have to live in Pacific regional areas to satisfy the criteria and apply for a PR later on. With this visa, you've got the rights to live, work and study in Australia, but with this visa you cannot travel in and outside of Australia, but there is option to apply for a travel permission once per 12 months or one per year, that you can apply for an approval, and if the immigration approve the travel exemption, then you can travel once. And you still have to have compassion and compelling reason to apply for an approval. For example, you did not see your family for a very long time, you can apply for travel permission based on that. Or if there is any other reasons, for example, if you are planning to go overseas to get married or something like that. And in relation to travel approval or travel permission, I just wanted to note some clients who receive help from the travel agencies to apply for travel permission, been in trouble, visas got cancelled and they are stuck outside of Australia. So I really advise, do use a migration agent or do it yourself instead. At least you've got an approval, whether it's rejected or approved. But if you just trust the travel agencies when they say the approval is the travel permission is approved and you travel later on, your visas get cancelled, you cannot complain about the travel agencies. And even if you do, it doesn't make any difference, because as a visa holder you should be responsible to consider your visa condition and make sure you do not breach your visa condition. Travel agency is not responsible for that, and immigration will not listen to you if you said this was the travel agency's mistake. Especially if they did not charge you to provide migration service. If it was a migration agent and did this mistake and you got in trouble or you got your visa cancelled because of the migration agent's fault, you can complain because they are registered, they must do the work professionally. But a travel agency is not registered, they don't have to be answerable, and they don't have to fix your problems. So for that purpose, do not use a travel agency to help you with the travel permission. The processing time for Shev visa could be over 3 years time. The reason is that immigration have so many Shev and TPV applications under process, and they've been giving priority for applications lodged for the first time. Like if it's your first application, your application will receive priority, but if it's your second application, which is in other words extending your Shev visa, then your application will not receive priority processing. But again, it doesn't make any difference, because the same rights and responsibility will continue as long as you lodge your second application before the expiry date of your current Shev visa. So you can still travel if you get a travel permission. If you have compassion and compelling reasons, you can apply for travel permissions, but you don't have to wait for the second visa to be granted. And to meet the criteria for permanent residency from Shev to a PR or permanent residency visa or permanent visa, you have to live and work or study in regional for 3.5 years. And these 3.5 years will start counting when you lodge application for a Shev. Say if you lodge your application and you move to a regional area, these 3.5 years will be counted from the date you move to the regional after lodging your Shev visa application. you don't have to wait for the Shev visa application to be granted. You can just move and start working or studying in regional as soon as you launch a valid application. And for this criteria, the 3.5 years of regional criteria, immigration introduced in waiver or an exemption. So from the 1st of Feb 2020 until now, and we're not sure for how long it will continue, if you're living in regional but you lost your job and you're not currently working and receiving Centrelink payment, you can also count this toward your permanent residency, and you don't have to worry about working extra year, 6 months to satisfy the 3.5 years. So this period will also be counted, because losing your job or not being able to study during this COVID period is something outside of your control. So you can continually count this toward the 3.5 years that immigration will accept this. And regional area in Victoria is not all Victoria. You cannot live in, for example, Dandenong to satisfy the criteria, but there is close places to Dandenong. For example, Pakenham, Clyde and Clyde North is also considered regional now, so you can move to and work in these areas to satisfy the permanent residency criteria. And of course, there's also other places like Geelong, Bendigo, Ballarat, and these places, they're also considered regional. But if you want a state where the whole state is considered regional, so you can basically live in the city and still satisfy the criteria for permanent residency, my advice would be to consider one of these 4 states or Northern Territories. Australian Capital Territory or ACT, South Australia, Adelaide, NT, Northern Territory, or Tasmania. These states considered regional as a whole, so you can live in Tasmania City or South Australia City, but you still meet the criteria for a permanent visa later on. In terms of which visas are available after you satisfy the 3.5 years of regional visa, regional residency, there's a number of visas. There's option for work visas, study, family sponsored, and business visas. In terms of skilled visas, we've got subclass 189, which is independent skilled visa, which is a high points visa. 190, status sponsored visa, it's a direct permanent visa. 491 is also status sponsored for regional, and this is 5 years provisional visa, but you can apply for permanent residency 3 years after this visa. And of course, you can apply for training visa, subclass 407, 1 to 2 years training visa if you need extra experience or to increase your points. And employment sponsored visas for from Shev to PR, we've got 186 visa, which is a permanent visa direct, and it's not a regional visa, so if you apply for 186 you can live and work in non-regional area as well. And 494 is regional. And of course, we do have a student visa available as well if you meet the criteria, and partner visa. So if you do have an Australian partner, Australian permanent resident or citizen partner, and you can apply for a partner visa onshore after 3.5 years of living and working or studying in the regional. Just to note, for all these skilled visas, including student visa and training visa, you have to have skill assessment, you have to have evidence of English, you have to have experience in your nominated occupation. If you cannot satisfy these, you can of course go with either partner visa or student visa to get experience, qualification and skill assessment, or you can consider business visas. For subclass 188 or 132, which is a business visa, you can of course start a business, or if you already have a business, you can use the same business to apply for these business visas, and you can get a waiver for English if you pay extra. It is point-based business visa, but you can meet the criteria if you've got enough money to invest or to run a business. And of course, if you have business management experience, that's even better. And I cannot explain about every single of these visas in today's session, but these are just the visas I try to name them. And if you're interested in any of them, you can of course contact us for more further informations. And so yeah, this is all of them. And for skill assessment and English, You do need, for English, you do need to attend some classes, because doing IELTS test and getting competent English is not very easy, especially for people with a little old age, and also for people who didn't study anything in English before, so it makes it difficult. You have to attend some classes to be able to get the IELTS you need for these visas. And for business visa, of course, you can get an exemption if you pay for when you lodge your application. You pay for, instead of doing the English test, you pay. So this is all the options from Shev to permanent visa. If my advice would be to, if you're a younger generation, do with a course, study a course, get the skill assessment and apply for this. Or if you do not want to do that, then go with an investment visa subclass, investment visa subclass 188 or 132. Then of course a lot of people from my community especially, they are running businesses, so maybe you can use that some other way to get permanent residency. And yes, of course, if you do have a partner, go with a partner visa. You don't need to get married, you just need to register your de facto relationship and then apply for a partner visa onshore. This is all for today's session, and if you want more information about pathway from Shev to permanent residency, you can contact us. We give 10 to 15 minutes free consultation, and if you need extra time, you can book either half an hour consultation for $40 or 1 hour consultation for $75. And once you start your application with Pathway Education, we will refund whatever you paid for the consultation. I will try to also have another session on this visa in Persian or Dari language, but it will take time because we are quite busy. We just start working from office after stage 4 lockdown, so we are very busy at this stage. I'll try to make a video in Farsi or Dari as soon as possible, but if you do have a question, please contact us and we will book an appointment to discuss with you further. Good luck if you meet the criteria, and thank you so much for your time.